Good evening, everyone. There's a cat butt. There you go. There's a little cat butt there for you. Um, I could probably get away with just saying hi. This is the start of the stream, and pretending this isn't actually the second time I've started the stream tonight. I started it a couple of minutes ago, and then realized that I was streaming from my computer, but I hadn't actually pressed the go button on YouTube. I did this last week, right? But I did it for like 10 minutes, I think, last week. I don't know, right? You'd think that someone who basically live streams for a living as a university lecturer and has been doing just this weekly thing for I don't know how long now that I would have sorted my shit out by now and I would just get it right every time I do it. But also part of my teaching that I'm quite proud of is that I still do teach people that mistakes are part of what you learn and it's okay. So, happy to expose myself. Well, expose my mistakes, not myself. That's different. We were talking about OnlyFans last week, and that was pretty funny. Anyway, hello everyone who's here. Donna's here, Halogen, Nicole, J-Man, Toaka, Michael, Kai, Matthew. I think that's everyone that's here at the moment. Well, that's nearly everyone. It's like there's only 13 people on stream so far, and it's like nearly everyone has said hi. If you're on stream and you haven't said hi, feel free to say hi in chat. Um, Welcome. I went to great efforts to convince Chicken to sit with us today, so she's there just chilling and cleaning herself. So, little cute thing in the corner. So today, oh, hey, Deadly Fugu. Deadly Fugu's Matt. Chicken Schnitty, hello. Uh, was Chicken Schnitty named after you met Chicken or before you met Chicken? Michelle said, where is League on the list? League is not on the list. I'll put it on the list. But, I'm not gonna make any promises. But it's on the list. Chicken Schnitty, I was your name before. That's cool. Also, stuff like Switch games are on the list, but I still do not have what's-it-called? I don't have a HDMI capture card, so that's not happening anytime soon. Toaka one does not simply start playing League. I think once one's in on League, then you're very in. But if you're not in, you're very out. Like, I'll just be so bad at it. It's like kind of like I think MOBAs are one of the most obtuse learning curve games in existence. Like they just there's no nice way in, and you just kind of assume that everyone already knows what's going on. Ah, Switch game recommendation, Sky Children of the Light, which I think is it's not just Switch, right? That's Switch Mobile, PS4, because that's Journey, yeah, the people that made Journey. Um, and so I assume that that one's on the PlayStations as well. Anyway, I have a couple of things tonight that I have installed that could be fun. I've also been playing a lot of Aliens Fireteam Elite, so I could show you some of that if you want. But I have things. Oh wait, same company as Journey, but not on PlayStation, so they must have broken ties with Sony because they used to be a Sony exclusive, but then it kind of spread out onto other platforms. I think I haven't actually played Journey. I had it on the PlayStation. I think I bought it on the PlayStation and started it and then never finished it. So I've only played bits of it. So I do have a couple of things that are on the list. I started off with things that I already owned or I'd bought recently in sales rather than buying a new game for tonight. But one thing that's interesting that I realized about Marc on Mondays is we're literally 2 weeks away from me lecturing again. And my graphics lectures are actually on Monday afternoon. So there's a 4 to 6 p.m. lecture. So if I'm going to lecture for 2 hours in the afternoon, there's no way I'm going to stream that evening as well. So next week is actually the final Marc on Monday. Yeah, Mike. Term starts in 2 weeks. Term 3 officially starts on the 13th of September, and it is now the 30th of August. So I probably need to get some work done on that course. I mean, I've gotten some work done. I've got a little bit of prep, and I have spoken to my tutors and got them working on some things as well. So it's all kind of, it's coming along, but also, you know, it's like I can't be the only one in the world at the moment who is feeling a little bit like, oh, I'm a bit tired. I've been locked down. Well, if you're in Sydney, in particular, I've been locked down for 2 months, and we're not coming out of lockdown before term starts. No way. Like, numbers still going up for COVID in New South Wales. So, you know, um, I kind of want to at least try to make my graphics course not an extra burden on people. I feel like people are burdened enough already. I want to make it something that people would be interested in doing and that's fun and stuff, but not something that brings you down further, because I think people are down enough as it is. So, Marc on Mondays next week, the final. I say final Marc on Mondays because it's not really. Like, I'll start streaming again when term 3 finishes. Or if term 3 is not a super burden on me, I will just move the stream to a different day of the week. I mean, they're not going to be like full-on streams. They're not going to be the kinds of things that I was doing where I was making slides and doing workshops and stuff like that, you know. Like, my time and effort will go uh into graphics, because like I will be, you know, I don't write a whole course and then deliver it. I write the course as I'm delivering, so that I can kind of take feedback from what I'm doing as I'm doing it. So I will still be prepping later parts of the course when we're in the early parts of the course, that kind of thing. But I may still stream, and I'll stream on a different day. So my lectures are Monday, Wednesday. So there's a possibility that I would stream on, say, a Friday or something, but don't hold your breath. It might be that Marc on Mondays is actually an official graphics lecture for the next 10 weeks, and then we'll roll back into streams like this afterwards. But Donna is asking there, what will you do for the grand finale stream? And the grand finale stream, I was thinking potentially this one here. I don't know how good quality the stream is, whether you can see that or not, but TF2 with students. And I thought that would be really kind of funny if we got a whole bunch of us into Team Fortress 2 and just played around. It is like, if you want to be like really full on about it, you can take it seriously, but I don't think that's what TF2 is about quite so much. So I think it'll be just a bunch of us hopping on and everyone screen cheating off the stream and knowing where I am and doing stuff. But I think it could be quite fun, and I think it's a good one to pick for something like a finale, because we can make a private server that's big enough to fit, say, 32 people or something. I don't think there's going to be more than 32 people. We haven't had more than 32 people on stream for a while. And it's just kind of like it's a free game as well. I didn't want to make it something that people had to pay for, so that might work pretty well. I do have Jackbox as well, so if we wanted to chill out with like kind of just trivia games and stuff like that, we could also do that. So a lot of people are appreciating TF2, so that's cool. TF2's quite an old game, but you know, it was, I don't know. I don't know whether it definitely was, but I want to say it was the top of multiplayer gaming in its prime, which was 12, 13, have I got the right number of years? 12, 13 years ago? Or is it even older than that? Like, but I think, yeah, it set the tone for class-based shooters from there on. I mean, even we could nearly say that Team Fortress 1, which was a Quake or Half-Life engine mod. Quake mod? I can't remember. Half-Life engine mod. Instinct tells me it's a Half-Life engine mod, but it could have been a Quake 3 mod or something. Was I think paving the way for class-based shooters. It was either that or Enemy Territory that was paving the way for that. And I think that games like Overwatch and trying trying to think about which other class-based games have. Well, just definitely Overwatch has a lot to thank TF2 for. It was a Quake mod. Thanks, Chicken Schnitty. Like saying that, Chicken Schnitty. Are you a schnitty chicken? Are you? She's ignoring me. Although you can tell she's listening to me because she keeps turning her ears around. Like, you can see her ears are aimed backwards because she's listening to me. Okay, so I had some games in my library that were on this list that were recommended to me by students. One of them's not entirely on this list. You may be able to tell because you were on the Discord. In fact, let me just... Where is it? I think it's a pin here. Yeah. In case people are not already on the Discord, I assume most people are probably on the Discord. There's a link. We were talking about this. I was asking you about this, and I may have slightly gotten a different game from the one people were expecting, because I didn't get Doom Eternal, but I got Doom, which is like the 2016 Doom. So I'm going to check that out, because I've never played that before. But there's also another game... Where is it? Programming games. While True Learn, that I haven't played. So, oh, Matthew, Quake Tawny when... My god, Quake is getting remade. Quake 1, I think, is getting remastered and remade. So, could be interesting when that comes out. I don't know if remake of Quake is going to be the same game, but reskinned and new assets and stuff, or whether they're actually going to rebuild the gameplay like they did for Doom. But anyway, so those are the two games I've got tonight. Doom Eternal and While True Learn. Deadly Fugu, good point. Quake 1 was already perfect. Quake 1, such a good game. I think Quake 1 super important for what it was technologically and culturally. Like, first-person shooter that started to really get into that multiplayer. Doom had it. I think Doom introduced us to deathmatch. If I'm correct in my memory, Doom invented the word deathmatch, which is now a term for a bunch of people shooting each other in a first-person shooter. Like, it's pretty amazing that that's happened. But Quake 1 was so atmospheric. Doom felt like a cover of a metal album, whereas Quake was like a gothic nightmare kind of thing. So I liked that they had that shift in feel. Shiitake, Quake 1 could have used a touch more polygons. Maybe a few, but no, it had enough. Matthew saying, I think id Software updated Quake 1 to have ray tracing or something mad. I wouldn't be surprised. It's got so few polygons that you could actually... You've got enough processing power left over to do some ray tracing. So anyway, I have these two options. Doom, While True Learn, or, hilariously, I could just play Aliens, because that's what I've been doing nearly every night for the past week since it was released. Myself and my partner and another friend have been playing through. We've played through the whole way through the story in standard difficulty, which is like the sort of... I think it's one below the middle difficulty, but like, if anyone's played co-op, team-based co-op games, you know that like the easiest difficulty is like barely survivable, and then you go up one and you're like, this is serious business, and you go up one past that and everyone just dies, and then someone on the internet is playing 2 or 3 levels higher than you, and you're like, I don't even know if you're human. Like, co-op shooters tend to be like that. If anyone's played like Left 4 Dead or Vermintide or any of those on the harder difficulties, they're just like, you've got to really know the game. You've got to have practiced and put together your team really carefully. Anyway, so I was wondering which of these two to start on. I'm tempted to start on While True Learn, because it just seems really interesting in terms of a programming game, and it's based on machine learning. And what I'm doing with both of these games is all I've done is I've turned them on and set up my graphics settings, and that's it. Because what I like to do is to go into these with no idea what's happening, and I'll talk my way through the learning process and stuff. So I might start with While True Learn, because it's just it's a cute and interesting game that I think may be interesting for people to look at in terms of the fact that it is um, a programming-based game based on the idea of machine learning and stuff. So let's fire this up now and see what it's like. Alright, sorry, just fiddling around with my streaming settings over there. I think that's okay. How's the audio? How's the audio balance between how I'm speaking and the music from the game in the background? I'll just check that first, and then I'll roll into it once people said that's okay. Audio is good from Donna. Thank you very much. As long as you can still hear me, but you can hear the game as well. I've got the game a little lower than my own volume. Okay, let's start with a new... Well, let's check settings in case I need to do anything. Ultra graphics. I don't think this is a high graphical game anyway, so that's fine. I'm not going to disable the tutorial because I have never done it. Kai says my audio is perfect. That's good. Okay, let's go. New game. Choose checkpoint. I assume I have to start with the tutorial, so let's see how it goes. To become a programmer, you must master your art of turning the computer on. Wow, I feel like this is doing my job for me. I don't need to teach people how to be a programmer if this thing exists. Okay, press and hold the flashing triangle and drag to connect the power outlet with your PC screen and keep... Oh wow, it's like you're physically plugging in the power. Oh, I didn't read the rest of that. I'm sorry, maybe you did. So I assume that this is how we connect things. That should do it. Time to cross fingers and turn the power on. I like that my my guide through this game is a little cat. Oh my god, it's like a Windows desktop. Computer is on. One more step to be a programmer. Don't you all feel really like cheated now that like all you needed to do was to drag a few things and then you'd be a programmer? And to have a cat assistant? See, I've already got my cat assistant, so I'm one step ahead here. Oh my god, look at the cat. Is that me? I don't have glasses though. Oh, bugs. Bugs in the code. Moni, you love this game. I'm glad. Someone suggested this to me on this stream when I started off like 3 months ago. And I bought it on sale and I still hadn't played it yet, so I figured I should play this on stream. That's such a debugging face. Oh, the cat's watching you. Going back for more coffee. Ah! I feel like the cat is fixing the code. As Moni says, this game proves chicken supremacy. Build successful. Oh, that is so cute. Look at his little eyes. Oh, I did fix the code for you. Kaichi, this is the walkthrough of my debugging workshop. Meow. How did you do that? What did you do? Did you do that? Holy zeros. If only I could understand what this cat has to say. Meow. I guess we'll have to find out a way to recognize your speech. Nicole says humanity is such a failure compared to our cat overlords. Goal, cat speech recognition. To-do list, Google it on Cat Overflow. Oh my god. This is great. I think they're just like, they're making sure that we know that they're programmers, you know? Like, they just want to, like, a few little marker points to be like, oh yeah, we're in this business. We know this business. Cat Overflow. That's so cute. Chicken Schnee. This is actually how I did my comp assignment. That'd be so funny if there was Cat Overflow somewhere. Cat Overflow. Enter your nickname. Alright. I'm just gonna be Mark. How to recognize animals. Like Googling it. How to recognize animal speech. Hey, can you believe my cat? That little devil has debugged my code again. He definitely has something to say, so I decided to make some sort of system algorithm. Would you help me understand him? Give me advice, wish me luck, maybe. P.S. I'm not insane. My mom had me tested. F5? That's weird. I don't want to press F5 to go forward. Maybe I'll end up clicking on it. Oh, it's F5 because they're refreshing their browser to see if people have answered. I get the F5 thing. Dr. Coda, don't rush ahead of yourself. Making a device that would be able to detect a cat would be a nice start. You can work with video, sounds, etc. When the time is right... when the time is right. Hey, a couple days ago, I've been reading about how expert system can be applied for detecting animals and writing chatbots. The newspaper was called Deep News. I'll be sending you my copies once I'm done with them. I like that little cat in the corner. Okay. Welcome to your workspace. This is where programming magic and bugs, mostly bugs. They really do know what this is all about, is born. To begin, drag an expert system node from the list on the right. Wow. That's how hard it is to program. Just dragging expert systems in. Hello, Blake. How's it going? And then we're going to connect the input from the camera into the expert system. Photos with cat, photos with no cat. So it looks like if it's red, it's a photo with a cat, else it's a photo with no cat. So all we can tell is whether a photo is red or not. And then that's how we're deciding if something is a cat. Okay, test run to see if the scheme works properly. Red photos are going upwards, blue photos are going downwards. Right. Okay, cool. That's cool. This doesn't... It's not super hard yet. I can see where they might go with this, because we're currently in decision classification systems kind of thing. And I can see where this might get more complex after this. How to recognize animal speech. Hey again, I've tried that expert system, it hardly makes any sense. Squares are floating from left to right, and is that what the fuss is all about? Machine learning. Are you guys actually working there? I love that when people just go, what even is machine learning? Are you just like looking at stuff and saying whether it's one thing or another? And it's like, yeah, that's it. That's all it is. We get a really, really advanced neural network to look at something and it tells us yes or no. Like, of course it's more than that. But at the same time, the basics, this person's name is Hellraiser. This is called visual programming, my fellow dude. Yes, this is how it's supposed to work. The expert system analyzes your data input from the camera and checks if there's a cat on them. No, it's not what machine learning is all about. It will get hardcore soon enough. Alright. Jackson, this game is called While True Learn. It's apparently a machine learning game, but we'll get into it soon and see how much deeper it gets. So all we've done so far is like categorize things between red and blue. Classic beginner programmer. So I wanted to make a cat translator, and I have been able to tell red and blue apart. When will I have my cat translator? Don't rush it, friend. You gotta master your machine learning ninja skills first. I'm working as a freelancer. The amount of contracts is crazy. Oh wow, this is too real. This is too real. You know, like, for a while, machine learning has just been like, vacuuming up all the money and stuff in the computing industry and stuff like that. This kind of thing. I think they're joking about that, you know, with like the leet speak name and stuff and the way they speak and everything. I'll forward you some jobs I don't have time for. Help you get on your feet and earn some cat bucks. Check your mail now. You're still paying for the servers though. This is really funny. Oh, wait up. Kaichi said that my webcam and chicken cam are blocking some of the text. Let me just, move us across to the other side, because it looks like this game's not using the left-hand side of the screen as much as the right-hand side of the screen. Categorizing. Thank you. Very good. Dr. Coda. Marc at Cat Meow. Noob advice. There's an auto help for each new technology. Very convenient. I've turned it on for you now. No need to thank me. But you probably want to change your password. My cat talks 123 is pretty obvious. They hacked into my computer to give me some help. Go to task tree. Behold the task tree. Oh, now the stuff moved over to this side. Okay, I'm just going to keep dodging it. This is the map of your progression in the game. Vertical progression stands for story quests. Horizontal branches are optional. Icon colors stand for different types of machine learning techs used in respective tasks. Sounds pretty simple, or we hope. So we hope. You know what's not simple? Getting out of that. Okay, I had to click on this. Spanish school at Cat Meow. Good day, we're from a public school. Summer exams have ended, the results are attached to the letter. Could you process them and predict which of the students will be able to enter MIT? This is pretty funny. Like, I am enjoying just the tongue-in-cheek computing industry stuff going on here. Okay. Colorful geometric shapes, they represent various kinds of data. Numbers, letters, elements of images. In modern world, everything can be turned into data, and machine learning is all about sorting and interpreting data. It's so true. Maybe we should just teach this as the machine learning course. Like, it appears to be like setting up a solid foundation for what's happening. Long story short, your goal in the game is to transfer data from the left part of the screen to the right. These bars show the minimum amount of data that needs to be processed to complete the task. So this thing needs 8 things of some kind. And this needs, I think there's 8 green things here and 8 blue things there. Let me move myself back over because I think a lot of the stuff that you want to see is actually in this right-hand column here. Whereas the top left and the bottom left, there's not that much there. I'll just move chicken up a little bit. Because there's this thing, gigabytes divide? I don't know exactly what that is. Hi, Dean. Yes, chicken is here. She's just napping there. Okay. So, expert system. And it looks like we can choose green or else. So this thing's going to come in here. Green goes there. Everything else goes there. This doesn't look that difficult compared to the previous one. I'm going to make it go faster. It looks very similar to the red and blue one that we did. Release the program to go. Release. All right. Shipping it. We're just shipping it and it's going. Oh, GB divide, green, blue divide. Oh, that makes so much sense. So we released the program to complete the task. And we got 350 cat cash. And we had to pay for the cat cloud. Ah, that's pretty funny. Okay, so our cat speech recognition system is apparently 8% complete. Recognizing a cat on picture is 42% complete. So let's continue. Errors in the database. Hello, we have some errors in our questionnaires data. We can't solve the problem by ourselves. Can you please fix it? So they've had a questionnaire and they didn't get the answers that they wanted, so they're going to replace them or throw away the wrong answers. This is what we do with my experience. Oh, Blake, you started playing It Takes Two yesterday. Yeah. I was playing that a bit with my partner, but it was a little bit weird. I felt like the game was pitched at, like, serious, full-on gamers. And then it was skinned as, like, an accessible game. But it didn't feel accessible once you're playing it. So it felt like a game where you actually needed to do a whole lot of gaming homework to be able to survive it. But it was pitched as like the kind of thing where you could play with someone who wasn't a gamer. So that felt weird in that game. Although the irony of that I think is quite funny because I played that with my partner and she was like, yeah, I don't know about this one. And then we played Aliens Fireteam Elite and she's smashing it. So I don't know. She's just good at shooters, I guess. All right. Efficiency is measured not just in money, but with medals. Medals influence your story progression while boosting your self-esteem at the same time. Yeah, I do like the jokes in this. It's pretty good. Blake's boyfriend's definitely carrying. Okay, so efficiency is measured not just in money, but with... Oh yeah, I've already read that. To get a medal, your scheme has to meet the respective time and nodes limits. You can improve your results later on. Okay, so now we're getting to that efficiency thing. This is actually starting to remind me a little bit of Human Resource Machine that I played at the very beginning of Marc on Mondays. So in the game, you can put stuff in the trash. This node destroys elements. No matter how many trash cans you place, they will count for one node in the node's limit. Okay, so the number of nodes that I place is one of the efficiency tests that I'll be doing. In the real world, real data sets have lots of errors. Filtering out errors is an important skill for all data scientists. Wow, there's articles you can read on this as well. Learn how it works, math, integrals, derivatives, and other scientific words inside. This is a genuine learning thing. Like this could just be a course. We need to make more courses like this. I don't exactly know how, but we do need to. Okay, so we've got red and green are our correct thing, and blue goes to trash. So what I'm assuming is we can send blue to the trash. And we want both red and green going in there. So everything else comes in here. This will be interesting, though, if there's something other than red, green, and blue in here. Like they said, there's errors in it, so we'll see what happens when I try that. No, it's all red, blue, and green. Oh, I guess they're considering the blue to be the error. Alright, got a medal. Full outputs. Nodes used 2 out of 2, time spent 20 out of 29, so I guess I'm under the limit, and that's the gold medal. Yep. Cool. Ship it. Like, integral warning, I'm out. Only Marc Gaming Education. I love it. We're release a replacement for OnlyFans, which actually gets you, like, a really interesting education. It turns you into, like, a highly skilled computer scientist. Ready to, like, take on the research world or start your own startup and things. Hello, it's us again. We found some new types of errors made by our users. Please update your program. It will be easier if you will use the previous version of the code. Okay. Oh, deep news. Every day since 1905. When was deep learning invented? Anyway. Non-neural artificial intelligence. So not neural networks. Mankind's always been trying to create an artificial intelligence. Before the invention of neural networks, people used expert systems. Yes, true. An expert system is a deterministic algorithm which reproduces decisions of a real person. An example is this Eliza, the very first chatbot in the world, created in 1966 and talked with patients using questions similar to real psychotherapists. It worked horribly. I like that finish on that, because I've seen it before. Eliza is like, you know, 3K of decision tree. It's really simple. Like, you get more complexity in a random NPC in a computer game these days. So I love this bit at the end. It worked horribly. It's true. All it did was just ask you things and try to, like, put the things you say back into the questions, so just feed them back into you to talk. So it's interesting, because what we're doing in the background here is just a decision tree. Like, we look at the things and we make the decision one way or the other. So all we're doing at the moment is a binary decision tree, which is hardly artificial intelligence. It's nearly just like, you know, it's kind of like simple algorithms at the moment. But the comedy in this game is really nice. It's a little bit dry and quite witty. Blake, my last therapist worked pretty horribly, can't be that bad. Moni says, wait till they give you shapes and colors. I should keep going. Check this out. Custom nodes are special nodes containing your previously designed schemes. Press on the middle tab to switch to use the custom nodes list. Ah, so I can use my red else divide, green blue divide, and without blue. Drag the custom node sorting color red to the workspace. If you want to modify the scheme inside the custom node, double right click on it or press the down arrow icon on it. Okay. Right, so I can get in there, and there's a button up here that you can't see, but don't worry too much about that. That gets me back out here. So I assume the reds are going there, Everything else is going to the trash. I could have done this with just the expert system. But, you know, I think they're trying to show me that I can use entire programs as single nodes. I got it on speed 3 here because I think at this point we're not worried about watching all the individual nodes going. I assume once we start debugging, we're going to want to slow this thing down. Cool. For those of you who are programmers, this is probably seeming quite simple at the moment. I think for those of you who aren't, maybe we're learning about a little bit about how computer programs work by this thing. I swear we can teach so much computing just in games if we can figure out which games are the right ones to use. Tawaka is saying schemes are like functions, it seems like. Yeah. Other code that's packaged and you can reuse. Okay. Oh, decision trees. Did I not say that? Strangely enough, the computing academic professional knows what these things are called. If I didn't, I'd be in trouble, hey. How to recognize a cat in the picture. Then we detect the cat without using expert systems. It works for texts, but with pictures, not so much. Furthermore, that cat just won't sit still. That it does not. Try decision trees. Those are like expert systems, but on steroids. Once you feel comfortable around them, try Sift. This little devil is way more effective with pictures. Also works nicely when paired with other algorithms. Sift, I don't know. There you go. There's stuff I don't know. Or you can use nails or glue or something. Come on, it's just a cat. It won't fight you back. I'm just kidding. Please don't use anything I mentioned on an actual cat. You're okay, chicken. Everything's fine. They're not going to hurt you. Different nodes have different processing rates. This parameter will influence efficiency of your schemes. Icons on the right indicate the amount of time required for a node to process one element of data. Right, okay, so we're getting efficiency based on the time it takes to do something. Node compares output parameters with an element's color. If the element's color is equal to only one socket's color, the element moves to that socket. If an element's color satisfies both conditions, or none of them, it goes to a random socket. That's weird. So you're not really sorting them. The other ones just go into both. Decision tree is one of the basic machine learning algorithms. Each tree knows a limited number of classes. For each element, the tree asks some questions and chooses the class most similar to the element. Yeah, totally. I agree with that. Okay. Oh, right, I get it. So we're accepting green on either one of these. So if we use the expert system for red, it takes a second to process. But if we use a really simple decision tree, oh, I get it. They're trying to teach us about some algorithms are faster than others. And this because it's going to take a simple decision, not necessarily an expert system, to just decide red or blue, and the greens go to both. I think that they're still teaching us which bits and pieces we can use so far. Oh, there's things on either side here. Optimization and medx. So I think these are the extra things. So what are people saying here? Jackson saying it would be cool if actual debuggers have GUI like this. Yeah. One thing that could be interesting to check out if you ever want to, check out programming in the Unreal Engine. They use this system called Blueprints, which actually looks a lot like this game. They're blocks, and the outputs are lines that come out of the block. Are they called blocks? They're not called blocks. I think they're called blueprints. And the lines that come out of the blueprint, and inputs are lines that go into the blueprint from the other side. And it ends up being, like, you kind of get this weird spaghetti mess, but you can actually visually watch the flow of things. Murdy, Marc, translating chicken's genius before the apocalypse. 2021 colorized. BT, are we coding without coding? Yeah, we are. We have, I mean, a lot of us have this kind of dream of the future where this is what coding is. There's no semicolons, there's no text, and things like that. There is programming at a level of accessibility that everyone has access to it, rather than it being something that you need years of training to just be able to do the basics. You know, we would much prefer that this kind of system is something that humans can do without special expertise. And so working with a computer to solve difficult problems is something that we can do just with an idea of the problem and a conversation, in a sense, rather than having to like spend years learning syntax and systems and really technical ways of programming. I think we're still a very long way away from that dream, but people are working towards it, so it'll be cool to see in the next kind of 20-30 years how close we end up getting to that. Edel says Scratch is similar to this. And Nicole's saying, yes, I think this is how they teach coding to primary high school students. Yeah, they used to do it with the Lego blocks programming stuff as well. Let's see what this optimization is. We hope it's our last request for you. We've changed our database system. Can you update the code one last time? We need it to work faster. To decrease and increase speed, click a button on the screen or use the arrows or A and D buttons. Use space to pause. Alright, okay. A and D didn't do anything, but I assume that's because I am not running anything yet. So we had this expert system and we had a decision tree. Did we have another? Red else divide? Only red. Let's have a look at both of these and see which ones they are. That's an expert system, so that's taking a second. That's also a red expert system. Neither of these are like particularly useful. How do I get rid of them? Oh yeah, cool. I can just drag them off. We can do a decision tree color and say this is any. I don't know if this is gonna do it, because I don't think this is only gonna have red. Let's find out. Or this any is going to take some of the reds away. Let's test run it, see how it goes. Run red to red. Lots of reds. Yeah, lots of reds are going into the trash can. That was not perfect. We maxed out on time. We didn't get anything. We didn't fill up the occupancy. So we need to... What are people saying? Jackson's like, when I was your age. Jackson's like, but then if we develop that, no one will know how to code in the future. Talking about this idea of like accessible coding. But for example, this is an example I give to you. How well can you ride a horse? You know? If you're really good at riding a horse and then the car gets invented, do you say, no, we shouldn't do this because then no one will know how to ride a horse anymore? Or do we go back to the idea that the whole point of riding a horse was we just wanted to get around quicker? So what we should be doing is moving on to using stuff like cars and bicycles and you know, mechanically assisted devices that are going to get us around, and it's no longer necessary for us to be able to ride a horse. At some point, at any point in any technology's kind of lifespan, it goes from being a necessity and then it turns itself into something that is only done like as an art form or something. I saw a really interesting talk about woodblock printing. And woodblock printing used to be absolutely necessary for images in books and stuff. And so there was all these people who would carve the woodblock and then it would be used in a press to press onto paper, and that was like part of books. But then when the mechanical printing press came along, or was it the mechanical printing press or the photocopier or the printer or something like that, woodblock printing just died out and the skill was lost because it wasn't necessary anymore. So I don't think we should hang on to programming as if it's something we need to preserve. At some point, the idea of programming in text, the way we do it now, will be considered an interesting sort of arcane art form and not super important. And I think that would be funny to see that, because what it'll mean is that these archaic tools are no longer the most efficient way to get things done. So what we do is like the classic uh, sort of science thing is we stand on the shoulders of giants. So we take the work that was done previously and we do just a little bit rather than needing to stay where we were. So that's like an interesting kind of thing. I don't know if everyone is talking about that as well here. BT's like, I like semicolons. Yeah, and Chicken Stew is saying your 8-year-old cousin does stuff like this, like a point-and-click code adventure. And I think a lot of people who do this when they're kids, they turn into coders later and they're like, oh, I already understand all the logic of code. All I need to do now is just like fiddle around with this particular coding program that you asked me to do and I'll be fine. Edels, when I was your age, we had to put a semicolon at the end of the lines. It's so like that. When I was your age, there were no IDEs. There was no autocomplete. Kaichi's saying that this is just abstractions. The more, the slower, which is why people still program in C. Yet, Unreal Engine, which is one of the most efficient game engines around and something that's used for real-time programming, uses this system. So it's quite possible to do highly efficient things in this. When it comes down to it, the efficiency is not necessarily in code. If you use a poor algorithm and you write really, really good code for your poor algorithm, the level of, you know, orders of magnitude of difference in speed in algorithmical advances is much more important than how good your code is. Like, your code can get something running like 30-40% faster and you're like, wow, that's huge. But if you organize your algorithm correctly, you're going like 1,000 times faster, which is like much more important. So it's interesting. I mean, you'll end up doing both if you're really, really optimizing something. But if we're thinking about what should go first, it's usually learning the right algorithm, and then coding is just a secondary thing. But you know. You know, people are talking about my solution here, like any includes red. So any will grab some of the red. Alright. Lots of chat, trying to catch up. Blake said if you don't need perfect accuracy, you could do 2 passes of the decision tree. I was thinking of that, actually. So what we could do is... I don't know if that's the right way to get rid of that. Any could come here. And we could send the reds there. Or we could just filter out... I've got another option. I just thought of something. I'm gonna get rid of you. I'm gonna start again. So we filter out the blues. And so these are both gonna have greens in them. And then we filter out the greens. I don't know if this ends up being inefficient because it's going to be slower and it's going to have too many nodes and things, but you can see what my plan is here. I pull the blues out once and the greens out once, and the reds will always be going along the horizontal motion because the reds will never go to the bottom half. There we go. There's my gold medal, right? Alright. I feel like I had the right idea there. Yeah, Dean's like going for like the thing that I was saying. If we build calculators, who will remember how to add numbers, right? It's actually just a very interesting thing because every era of technology has the same issues that we have to overcome, and they're very, very much social issues that people get attached to a certain form of expertise, not realizing that every form of expertise and skill and mastery is probably going to go stale and not be useful anymore eventually. And whether you're alive when your skill becomes useless is a very difficult thing. So if you happen to be alive during the time where the skill that you've spent your time on is no longer relevant, you have to deal with that. Whereas some people are going to have the comfortable life where the important thing that they did for their whole life is never challenged, and is never replaced, and they get to just keep doing it for their entire lifetime. So some people have that kind of, I guess, I don't know what you'd call it, like a free and easy, comfortable life, but some people have it where they're in a shifting landscape. And I think the computing industry is still very much a shifting landscape. But, you know, hard to say. Halogen cries, and it's so hard to do wet photography now. Are you actually doing that? You're developing your own film and stuff. That's cool. Murney said, as a history student, topics of good interest are the Luddite Rebellion, the Saboteur riots, and the debate around universal basic income. Yeah, that sounds interesting. I've only vaguely heard of Luddites. I mean, it's like the term people use as an insult nowadays, but like the debate around universal basic income is very interesting as well. Yeah. That's European history, but, you know, we can still learn from European history. Dean, yeah, Dean thinks it's a fresh take, whether you are alive when your skill becomes outdated, not if. All skills will become outdated. Some of them will take longer than others. I think the ability to work with humans takes a lot longer to get outdated because humans change slower than other technologies. Humans are a technology or not, hard to say, but the way that we work could be considered a technology. Like nowadays, for those of you who are computing people, is very much the idea that the work you're going to do is going to be in this agile methodology because it's the big one at the moment, right? 20 years ago, roughly, when I was leaving my engineering degree, agile didn't exist. Well, I don't know if it existed. We definitely weren't being taught it at that time. And so you'd be thinking about things like the engineering process that I showed you last week, and waterfall design and stuff like that, which is no longer thought of. I mean, the way I taught the engineering process was actually from an agile perspective, in a sense, that kind of iterative improvement, rather than after you finish the previous steps, you move on to the next and you can never get back to the previous steps. After your design's finished, you never redesign. You go forward into implementation and stuff. So I find that interesting because that stuff shifts. And so even me saying working with people is a skill that won't go stale, it will also eventually. All right. Oh my god, there's one there called Chicken Escape. We have to get to that one. All right, so we're going to do this one, and then we will unlock Chicken Escape there. Very, very important. Haljan said you did it for 3 years. Oh, you're talking about wet photography. 3 years in high school, hoping to eventually get permission to use the resources at Art UNSW. Well, one would have to be able to get on campus first, which is a pity. Edel said there's a book on universal income called Utopia for Realists. That sounds interesting. Moni says the word saboteur actually was on the French sabot, which was a shoe. And when the jacquard loom replaced weavers, the displaced weavers used to chuck the sabot into the mechanical loom. So to sabotage something is to throw your shoe into the weaver's loom so that people would be forced to weave by hand. Very interesting. Like, that is not the shortest path to Chicken Escape. You didn't apply breadth first search. I assumed that Chicken Escape had a double... Hang on, let's go back. Oh, wait. Where's my task tree? I assumed that... Oh, no, I can access Chicken Escape from here? I assumed that I would have to do both of them to get to Chicken Escape. Let's go to this one. Illuminati Origins. Great. Good day. I study ancient manuscripts and books in order to find the true story behind the Illuminati secret society. Good. We're obviously focusing on important things. I need to recognize all the triangular shapes in these documents to solve the puzzle. Could you design a program that would do that for me? This is great. We're recognizing triangles. Right, so we're kind of doing if-else statements. We really are doing, like, learning basic programming here. Oh, SIFT. Scale invariant feature transform is one of the most powerful non-neural algorithms for detecting features on pictures, which is essential for image recognition. This is why I don't know it. I don't do image AI. SIFT is very fast and capable of recognizing simple objects and patterns. Right, that's why we're doing shapes now. So, we are sifting for triangles. So, I'm assuming that the triangles will go here. Everything else goes in here, and they go to the trash can. Sweet. Easy. Release. Edel, so 2521 did come in handy. I think you're talking about me saying that the algorithms is the bit that's important for humans to understand. Or you're talking about breadth first search. Sam saying machine learning is just spicy if-else statements. I mean, when it comes down to it, that's all it is. A neural network is just a whole bunch of things connected to each other that send a signal one way or another. And it's nearly all just a binary signal one way or the other. Working for the man feels too easy, boring, or soul-sucking. Aim for the sky and become a CTO of a startup. In the world of savage market laws, it's either sink or swim. Will you get rich or bite the dust? It's worth trying anyway. That's the Pizza Shack. However, Chicken Escape. I mean, we should potentially do all this other stuff as well. But, you know, it is, like, you know, 2 hours of stream. And I did say I was going to play another game as well. So we're definitely going to do Chicken Escape. And we'll see how much more we're going to do. This looks like a video. We'll get to that in a second, after Chicken Escape. Like, if the reviews for the Universally AI courses weren't very good, hope they improve in the next couple of years. I didn't realize that. Because I remember AI stuff being quite interesting. But maybe it was just like, it doesn't even matter what the course is like. The stuff is interesting no matter what. Okay. Chicken Escape. Chicken Escape Farm. Hi there, my name is Sarah. I own a small technology farm. What's a technology farm? Our distributors demand supplies of eggs of different kinds, and it takes a lot of time to sort them manually. That's why we've decided to automate the process. We'll have all the data about eggs parameters, but we need an algorithm which will work without human assistance and with high accuracy. Okay. So we're sifting all three. So if they all go into one sifter, the circles go up there, and we should be able to then just take everything else into here, which is going to be the squares and the triangles. And we can say the squares go here, and everything else should just be the triangles because the circles and the squares have already been sifted out. I think this is going to work. Like, I don't know if there's anything tricky here, but this seems to be, like, how you would do this. I wonder if there's another way to do it. I mean, it feels right. You need two if-else statements to deal with 3 outputs. There you go! Chicken Escape. We have succeeded at Chicken Escape. I can imagine this game... I can imagine wanting to push harder into this game. Because at the moment, we're still... oh wait! Achievement unlocked, error, Stack Overflow. What's that achievement? Complete a task with unlocked trash can without it. Oh. With the trash can unlocked, complete a task without using it, I assume. So that's what I got for Stack Overflow. Waka, those are some weird eggs. They are some weird eggs. Square eggs are weird. Oh, chicken moved. Aww. She's facing us now. That's like, that's so cute when she sleeps like that and she's just like turns her head upside down to curl up and sleep. Wait, Kai said we only got silver, not fast enough. Hang on. Okay. The delay would be in this path from here to either of these, I guess. I get it. I get it. Before we even start, we have an idea of the distribution of these. So if more than half of the outcome are squares, then that should be the first thing that we're sifting out. So if the squares go in here, and then only the rest of them get put in the other sifter. Circles go up here. Triangles go down there. Maybe this will run faster. We'll get a gold. So it was a bit simplistic to begin with, I guess. And now we'll try this. I don't know if that's it. Edel says sort for square first. You were thinking the same thing, right? Yeah, people were thinking that was going to be gold. Like, this is kind of maths I'm incapable of. Nope, still silver. Oh, wow. Wait, nodes used 2 out of 9. Time spent 38 out of 45. Why is this giving us a silver and not a gold? Like, fix your wires, they're overlapping. 0.7 seconds off. Oh, right, this is the silver, is it? Because this is yellow, so that's the gold one, and this is the silver one. The initial time they show is the gold medal time. Do they say? 37 seconds. That's the... Oh, no, that's the time limit. Interesting. Okay. So what we might be doing here is we might be thinking like a certain kind of programmer where we're trying to minimize the number of things that we're creating. Moni's explaining the gold time limit. Time they're showing now is the silver medal bracket, you're right. Dean likes the soundtrack. Real focused thinking music. Can we use something other than sift? We have the only triangle thing, but I'm pretty sure the only triangle thing used a sift in it. Yeah. So the only tool we have is this if-else sifter. Doing the squares first appears to be one way to split that out. I'm trying to think about what else even could be done at this point. Like, what could speed this up? We can't connect to more than one thing at a time. So we can't just split this output. Interesting. Helgen, what's the DLL tab? Ooh. DLL is basically a sandbox for schemes. Create them, apply them in tasks, experiment as you wish. You can use almost all kinds of nodes and as many inputs and outputs as you see on the screen. Keep in mind that you only have one slot for DLL nodes by default. Go to the shop to get more. Right. So this allows us to just connect inputs and outputs with a bunch of the things that we already know. Make our own DLLs, dynamically linked libraries, right? So these are our libraries that we can plug into any program that we want. Don't think we necessarily need to make a DLL and save it yet, because I think we're still in quite simple territory. Dean, try to turn it off and back on. All right, let's just run it again. It doesn't, like, nothing appears to be weirding out or anything. 38.7, so we are definitely slow. I wonder if it's something really silly where it's just like which one of them's getting the priority here. So let's just try the one we haven't tried. This is a really silly way of doing this, but Like, we're just now prioritizing one before the other. It doesn't feel right to me doing this, but we'll see. Oh, so that's a countdown. Ah! It was just order of data. It wasn't amount of data. It was just the order that the triangles were coming last or something, and so they needed to not be filtered. That's something we didn't know about the egg data going in. Feels a bit weird. Feels a little off that this was specifically ordered data that we needed to discover in some way. That's the first point of me going, I'm not sure about this. What were we saying? Does the location of them matter? Peter was asking. I don't think the location of the blocks on screen mattered. Blake was like, just move the pointer from 1.25 to 0.5 seconds. I don't think we can actually speed things up by dragging them around. Moni is saying triangles first, as the rarer one will have the quickest path, and I think you were correct. You were correct there. So the one that was going to appear the least is the one that we wanted to prioritize to fill all those buffers. And I think that Sam was noticing that as well. Why does it say 12 out of 6 occupancy? We were sending so many of something to the end that it was like inefficient. It didn't need that many things. Yeah, and Jackson's figured that out too. The reason it's faster is because you want the smallest amount to get cleared first. And the ones that are occurring more often can get backlogged and they don't mind. Yes. Yep. And Blake's saying the location is style, which is very important. Yeah. And Jackson's reminding me there, the square I overfilled, and that was wasting time. Yeah. So this is what we're learning here, is that when we want a certain amount of something, then anything over the top of that is extra work we're doing, which we didn't have to. Reach the end of the epoch. Click on one of the banners to proceed further in the story. Bronze, silver, gold. We should click on gold because we got golds. Although I don't know what these would do, but I'm going to click on gold. Cat mail. It's Nyan Cat. Oh, there's the camera. This definitely should work, he says. Wait, let me move chicken and myself as far off the screen as we can go for the moment. This definitely should work. Cat. Eureka. Cat meow. What happened? Cat meow. Eliza, yes, meow. Eliza, repeat, please. Meow. Using Eliza with a cat. Sulux is asking, did I have any other plans for tonight's stream? Yes, I have 2 games to play tonight. The next game is very, very different from this game. It is pew pew, and it is violent. As far as I know, I haven't played it, but I'm assuming that a game called Doom is going to at least replicate the ideas behind the old Doom games. I wonder if we should go on, or this is a good place to stop. This feels like a good place to stop. We've finished this section of this game, so let's go on to something completely different and see what Doom is like. Ooh, save. Save games called Marc on Mondays. I will probably end up continuing to play this elsewhere though. Yes. Oh, it's going to be saved automatically anyway. I mean, that kind of makes sense. Games save automatically these days. Right. Blake, this sounds gory. I'm out. That's okay. Doom is probably pretty gory. Yeah. Sam wants to hear my deep analysis of the game design in Doom. I mean, like, I have spent a lot of time analyzing game design in real-time games and stuff. So, we'll see. And Haljan said, yeah, not Doom Eternal, Doom 2016. Yes. But, I can now mark this one as something that we did. There's so many things that I could do on stream. Maybe I should have tried to squeeze more games in per stream, because this isn't even going to tick off this whole line. It's only going to tick off the first word. All right, let's check out Doom. BT, add Power Wash Simulator to the list. All right, let me go back to the list. I nearly bought this for my partner as a joke, because it would just be really funny. But she was looking at it just going, that looks really satisfying, you know? It looks really satisfying to power wash stuff. And I was like, maybe I should get it for her, just for shits and giggles. So maybe you're telling me I should get it for myself. Sam played this on the Switch in 240p. Wait, Doom or Power Wash Simulator? Lucas says remove the last game. What, Power Wash Simulator or League of Legends? Matthew, you forgot because music empties brain and fills it with rage. We're talking about Doom music? I think we might. Power Wash. Nicole said, I've recently played We Become What We Behold. It takes literally 8 minutes, but it's a cute, fun experience about mass media and hysteria. Ooh, interesting. We should check on that. League of Legends. Teamfight Tactics. I've heard about that. I've not played it, but I heard about it. Lucas, League of Legends, get it out, I promise. BT likes the Doom soundtrack, the most amazing thing ever made. Well, let's get involved and see what it does. So, I haven't done anything yet, but I set up my graphics resolution before. This thing looks like it's locked at 60 frames. I don't know where's a good place for my face and Chicken's face. So we'll put them on this side again and see how we go. I'm Too Young to... Oh, I remember these. I'm Too Young to Die, Hurt Me Plenty, Ultraviolence. So Hurt Me Plenty is apparently the game without any adjustments. I don't know if I should just bump it up straight up to Ultraviolence. This is a thing where I'm like, I think I'm good at first-person shooters, and then when I really do it, I'm not actually as good as I think I am. But let's find out. I also don't know if this is full-on first-person shooter style gameplay. The small amount of time I spent in Valorant for the combined engineering esports competition showed me that I was not as good at Valorant as I wanted to be.
They are rage, brutal, without mercy. But you will be worse. Rip and tear until it is done.
Okay, pretty gory. There's pentagrams and stuff on the ground. Oh, hello. Oh, they don't just die to one shot. Okay, I don't know what that was. Maybe it's because I pressed R to reload and nothing particularly happened. Alright. Gonna have to learn my way around the game. The movement is quick. Are we strafe jumping? Are we? Not enough space to find out. No, I don't think we are. Whoa, this is weird. Are they like bowing to the casket that I was in?
We have to contain this.
That's the iconic Doom armor. Alright. We're getting in the suit. Oh, okay, we're having a pretty serious flashback from the suit. Should be some kind of epilepsy warning on the stream at the moment. Everyone's copying the motion blur. Jackson wants me to play Skyrim. You know, there's a new mod that came out for Skyrim recently. That was the No Skyrim mod, and like people were joking about it because all it did was stop the game from being able to run. And people are saying that it's like instead of installing 200 different mods for Skyrim and having it not loading, I can just skip all of that with a single mod.
Welcome. I'm Dr. Samuel Hayden. I'm the head of this facility. I think we can work together and resolve this problem in a way that benefits us both.
I'm angry and explode. Oh, I can see why people want me to turn the motion blur off. You just do this and you can't see anything. Is that good? Do we like this? Is this how we want to play? Okay. Motion blur high. I'm gonna turn it to low. I don't mind a little bit of motion blur, but that complete inability to see anything if I'm trying to like snapshot something. Oh, the chat's like, what are you doing to us? Turn off VSync? Wait, VSync was on? It's adaptive VSync. I don't even know. I love it. I love it. You're the graphics lecture guy. I don't know what adaptive VSync is. I don't really know. I assume that adaptive VSync is the newer school VSync, but I've got G-Sync on my monitor, so I shouldn't need this at all. Let's turn that off. Motion blur's down to low. Let's just have a look around now and see. Still not great. I'm going at 160 frames a second, but that movement is a little bit... Okay, we're gonna turn that off entirely. Because it is going to make things very hard to see. I'm going at 180 frames per second. And that still doesn't feel like it. Alright, we're gonna let it go. Motion blur's technically off. I don't know what is causing that slight weirdness. Just feels jittery. Chicken was rising to strike. Oh, chicky. Okay, let's get into this. I assume this is meant to be dark and atmospheric, and I'm not supposed to be able to see everything this way. Oh, what is this? Glory kills. Dealing damage to demons will cause them to stagger, indicated by a blue highlight. Move into close range. When the highlight turns orange, press F to perform a glory kill. Any angle, different glory kills. Killing demons will always drop health. Glory killing demons. Right. Alright. Right, so you're meant to, like, feel good about what you're doing and you get this, like, reward. Okay, we're going to analyze this in terms of game design. It's rewarding this kind of aggressive behavior in a sense. And what I'm assuming this game is going to... The kind of behavior this game is going to promote is aggressive, forward motion, continuous killing. What they want to do is to try to get us into this flow state of going from kill to kill and feeling like this. It's a power fantasy, right? Most of these action games are a power fantasy where you feel like you're on top of things. You're exhibiting your mastery and you're being able to, like, just kind of win at these situations. I am now just going to change my key bindings, however, because it's going to go on my mouse. I basically nowadays have a set of key bindings that I use for all games, and so melee is always this thumb button on my mouse, and things are, like, I always do things the same way. Let me guess. It's a shotgun? Because this is Doom. Yep, of course it's a shotgun. Right click isn't zooming, but maybe this isn't a zoom in kind of game. We'll see how we go. Matthew, remember Mark, these are demons, not people. That's how we excuse the amount of violence that we're going to. Oh, an angry one. That's an imp. Yep, throwing fireballs. Old school. Very, very much old school Doom. Oh wow, that doesn't look nice. Destroy the gore nest. Okay. Gonna go out on a limb here and say that thing's gonna explode. Oh, does this charge up? Hey. Always a good bit of exploding barrels. Do I? Oh, it's inverse shift. Oh, that's gonna ruin me. Shift to walk instead of shift to run. I'm just gonna have to try not to press shift. Alright, shoot that thing. I just assumed that... Is it not that glowy? Oh, it's press E. Fine. Alright. Buddy. Multiple buddies. Now I wish I hadn't blown up that barrel. Oh, that was another barrel. I didn't even see it there.
Demonic presence at unsafe levels. Lockdown.
You're already dead. It's kind of satisfying. Come on. Do the glowy thing. Yes, there we go. Oh, I just pressed shift to try to go faster. Where did they go? I knew that was gonna happen. Wait, does that thing blow up? Oh, that's health. Low health. That's how this is working, is it? Right, there's health in you, and there's health there. Oh, one does not have to use a gun if one is going to be violent enough. Oh, that's rough. Where'd you go? Hey, you can vault onto the edge of things. Okay. Destroy Gore Nest. Find the Site 3 exit. Oh. And now that I'm learning what pickups are, I can get health and ammo. Don't know what they are. I assume they're some kind of currency, just because they look like green bills. Classic visual design in games, go towards the green thing. Just because we assume that everyone has at some point learned how to drive. Oh, they were armor chips, by the looks of it. The green things. Alright. This is not a role-playing game, so I probably don't have to loot the entire area before I leave. But sometimes, some habits are hard to break.
He cannot be allowed to leave this place. He would ruin everything.
Apparently I will ruin everything if I leave.
I'm willing to
Bring
take
his
full
armor.
responsibility for the horrible events of the last 24 hours, but you must understand. Our interest in their world was purely for the betterment of mankind. Everything has clearly gotten out of hand now, yes. But it was worth the risk, I assure you.
The Doom Marine solution to all problems is to punch them. You're right. The soundtrack is kind of fun. We are now outdoors. I assume jumping straight into the chasm is not the best move here. Don't appear to have another option though. Again, game design to try to convince someone to take the linear path when there's literally only one way to go is to give them little glowy things that they will want to pick up, and then they will naturally explore in that direction. It's pretty simplistic stuff, this. We're not going to go out and say that Doom is some kind of high intellectual game with some really, really kind of like, thought-provoking, complex game mechanics and stuff. I would still say that it probably takes a lot of skill to tune a game to feel really nice in real time. That doesn't mean it's intellectual. Alright, so we've got trying to point at the screen, it's not helping. But at least we've got a waypoint thing on a compass at the top, which is, again, fairly standard stuff from other games, so we know that we can follow that. Ooh, big armor. However, lots of enemies as well, so let's cause damage here first. Okay, I should... Oh no, that's fine. Yep, I can just smack people. Trying to get those special kills. You... Stop that. Oh. It's probably not a good idea. I should have. I feel like this game... Oh, I keep pressing shift. Try to get the jump on people. Come on, start glowing. Yeah, there we go. I get the idea now. Dance. Yeah. Punch people repeatedly, get health from them. Probably grab that armor in the middle, right? That would help me. The movement is nice and smooth. Oh, so violent. So violent. You're just sort of going from one of these scripted kills to the next. None of my guns appear to need a reload. I keep looking for like a scanner or something to tell me where the enemies are, but there doesn't appear to be one. I really wanted to do like a slam down attack on him just then. Ammo. Yeah, this does feel like one of those games where it's all about high speed. You just run around and launch yourself into the enemies. I feel like there's nothing left in this area for me to deal with. The shift to walk has screwed me a couple of times already. What? Razor chroma? I'm not using a razor at the moment. Wow, it's not even here. Wait, left shift to walk. What am I going to change that to? Crouch is C. No, that's going to be control. Ooh. Yes. I don't know what I was using. What control was bound to. But it's over now. Whatever it was is gone. I just want to get rid of this. Escape to cancel? No. How do I unbind this? Alright, you're going to go on right shift instead. Oh no, I want to get rid of left shift. Oh wait, I get it. If I left shift, that'll unbind. Okay, so I'm never walking. Always running. Doom Man is always running. Because every time I press shift to try to accelerate towards people, it was slowing me down. So we're going to get rid of that. What were we talking about here? Sorry, I just missed missed chat for a while. Um, Moni said, actually, there's a really good shooter that plays death metal but gives accuracy damage bonuses, i.e. your gun not getting jammed if you fire, dodge, and reload on the beat. That seems really cool. See, that's a very interesting mechanic. Eternal has better mechanics, BT says. Alright. Moni says it's called BPM bullets per minute. Ah, interesting. That sounds like a cool game. Tawaka said, to be honest, if you like Doom, you should play Ultra Kill. I have not heard of Ultra Kill, so maybe I should. J-Man says it looked like mutated copies of Spider-Man. Moni says how the scout sees himself. Yeah, turning off walk. And Sam saying reloading would just slow the gameplay down. And Tawaka says unbind it. Yeah, I think I'm now here and binding it. And Sam says walking isn't useful anyway. VT, oh no, he's changing the controls. Yes, I am. I don't know what left control used to be bound to. But everything here except for walk is bound to something. So, we're good. Alright, now I am no longer going slow for no particular reason. Armor chips, my ammo appears to be full. Of course, I didn't go to the obvious door because there was green lights over here. Alright, blue access key. What do I want to bet that corpse there has the blue access key on it? I think they showed me that on purpose. That was a distraction, that other corpse. Well, obviously a highly intellectual problem-solving game where we must think very carefully about what we're doing. Why even have that? I think they're trying to introduce the idea of keys, even though it's really, really, like, that was unnecessary. There was no other way I could have gone. I feel like that's going to get boring after a while. That same kill animation. And I guess that one was slightly different. But totally, they want you to feel like you can just dominate those smaller enemies. That was a little bit satisfying, not gonna lie. Right, so there's plenty of punchy punch going on in this game. More than I expected. I don't know if I'm going the right way, but this looked interesting. This appears to be a one-button game. Like, I'm not even looking at the screen. I'm just going to hit this button for a while. That's it. I don't know why I came in here. Ooh, is this a secret? Auto map. Mission tab will show you the auto map, available mission challenges, and exploration items that can be found in your current mission. Well, challenges unavailable. There are secrets somewhere. What is that thing? A collectible? And a data log. Right, so I guess this is the replay value. You go back through the second time and you try to pick up all these bits and pieces. Or if you want to, you go through the first time and you go hunting for all those bits and pieces. Is that a grenade? Press middle mouse to use an equipment item when you have it available. Equipment items on a recharge timer must complete before they can be used again. Equipment system can be improved by upgrading the Praetor suit. I guess all games have like equipment upgrade stuff nowadays. Alright, so I'm changing that button. Weapon mod? Is that what it is? Switch weapon, next weapon, use equipment, mouse 3, not that mouse button, this one. Actually, maybe this one. G, I don't know what G was. G was chainsaw. We'll deal with that later. Okay, maybe I'll do this. Mouse 4, and I'll put G back on chainsaw. Right, I'm just binding my thumb buttons to things. Sorry, it's probably boring to watch me do that. Let's test this out. There's a grenade. Cool. Alright. It's not going to be as effective as just punching things, though, is it? Like you don't want to headshot them because then you get to do your special kill if you leave them alive. Oh, hello. Oh, low ammo. Alright, let's chill out on the shotgunning. Pistol just feels like it's not doing anything. I guess that's the point of the little starter weapons, is they're never quite, they don't have that satisfying, big, crunchy feel because they want you to get that in the, later. How do I pick that up? Is this because I'm full of grenades and I don't need any more? It's not giving me any keys to pick it up, so I'm just gonna let that go. Let's try. Where'd it go? Yeah. Maybe now I can pick up the grenade if I just used it before. Right. So all that does is instantly reload the thing that was recharging anyway. Ooh, hello. Checkpoint reached. Is this a door? We're going some other way then. This looks like a barge of some kind. No? Oh, I see. Big gruesome. Anyone ever played Dead Space? That is probably the most gory game I've ever played. Like, enemies made up of body parts and stuff. Oh, hello. What are you? Hold the weapon mod button to charge up a 3-round burst with tighter spread. Hold the weapon mod button. Oh, this is giving me an upgrade to my shotgun. So either a 3-round burst or an explosive, an arcing explosive round. So more bullets or a grenade. I'm taking the explosive because that sounds like fun. Our response to a thing that gives us an upgrade is to grab the upgrade and punch the thing that gave it to us. This is a simple game. Okay, grenade. Okay, blows people up, waits on cooldown. I get it. Oh, I missed. The downside of taking the slightly less accurate version is the ability to miss. Oh, I probably shouldn't have just blasted in there. Pretty sure this is how one gets themselves killed. I can't just jump up there, can I? Where'd they go? Uh-oh. Back. I need the special kill. Oh, I can. Alright, let's go back and pick up all the armor and stuff. I was forgetting to throw grenades there. That probably would have come in handy. Is there any health around? Yes, health comes out of people you punch. Something up there. That looks like health, doesn't it? Go back around. Oh, this one has some kind of charged up shot as well, right? Getting them all to light up, but then like not being in a good position to trapped here. That felt good, even if it didn't work. A grenade? Who hit me? Oh. Too far away. Oh. They still drop health even if you don't do the melee kill on them. Checkpoint reached. I assume I'm... Ooh, lots of people fighting. Oh, I just grenaded myself. That was awkward. Well, that's Doom. I can see how it works. Got a real old school shooter kind of feel. Apart from that punchy thing which is happening, I feel like too often to be fun. I would want that to happen every now and then, but not to be like every single kill needs to be right up in their face and doing exactly the same animation. But you know, I can see this game. I can see it being this kind of rollicking, kind of like high speed, go for it kind of thing. Night Cakes, the cooldown of the guns just reminds me of Malawan charging weapons. Yeah, totally. Borderlands, very different beast though. You can see how this one very much encouraging movement. It has the same vaulting jump mechanic, but this one's really kind of like, you feel like your best situation is to be as close as possible to your enemies, which is interesting. Powered Minecart McUnite says, Mark, you should play an old school Flash game. Which old school Flash game should I play? Wait, people are saying they remove the pistol in Eternal and chainsawing enemies gets you ammo. I don't think I've got the chainsaw yet, right? I assume not. It drops ammo, it's just a lot less useful in this game compared to Eternal. Right. Bloons Tower Defense. People have told me to play that. Let's see where I'm up to. If it's too far back, I won't play it. Oh yeah, this is the checkpoint that I was at, right? And I jumped over it there. Ugh. Jumping feel is a little inconsistent. Yeah, let's play this game in a completely different way than the way it's meant to be played, like a stealth sniper game. I feel wrong doing this in this game. In other games, I would be like, yeah, totally. Wow, that one's not even reacting. I felt dirty. I felt very undoom-like then. Ooh, is that a thing? Oh, no. Press jump before you get to the ledge. Word. Word of advice. It definitely looked like some kind of collectible thing. Oh, hi, Mark. Hi, Bradley. How's it going? Sam's laughing at me. I'm literally killing sources of health. What are other people saying? Bloons Tower Defense. The Impossible Game. Cool Maths. I don't know Cool Maths. It was like Murney saying, does Cool Maths games run? Or has Flash's death crushed our childhoods? The Impossible Quiz. I remember playing stuff like, what was it? There was like the Bookworm, where you had to do like a Scrabble kind of game. Henry Stickmin, I remember that. Mark Death Counter 2. Twaka's heading out. See you later. I should totally play Completing the Mission. Wow, there's a lot of games out there. I assume that this is like everyone's childhood. Alright, so you said I was killing sources of health, so I should... Oh yeah, this is much easier. Oh wait, that's an imp. Alright, so just telling the difference between the... Yeah, so that one's taking a few hits, but still creating health. Alright. That's totally a thing, right? So I assume I do... Maybe I don't do a jump. It looks like there's a tunnel that comes out there. Right. Let's go through here and see if it hooks around. This is just going back where I came from, isn't it? Is there a tunnel from here? I don't know if, like... Ooh. No, that's just shotgun shells. If running around looking for secrets is an interesting thing to do on a stream. Maybe I can just jump there from up here. No, totally can't. That looks like somewhere where I could make that jump. Oh, you can just make the jump. Fine. Oh, it's a little toy! Cute. Was that there the whole time? I don't know if that hole was there the whole time and I just missed it. So I just did a trick jump for no reason. Still, like, trying to do weird jumps. It's like I want more out of the jumps in this game than it's actually giving me. Oh, that guy over there's shooting at me. You're a bit far away, buddy. Right, I get it. So I'm supposed to eat the little ones and fight the big ones. Did I just go back the way I came? Yeah. Right, it's not actually that much health in these drops. I'm just gonna remember to pick them all up. You're dangerous. Oh, they're all dangerous. Okay, fine. It looks like the run in and really try to dominate everything gameplay isn't exactly working for me here. What are people saying? Oh, Borderlands superiority. I do like Borderlands. Cool Math's basically a site, so Halogen saying, oh, hi, Chewy. Oh, Bradley saying Game Dev Sucks sent me an email weeks ago. I apologize. I saw it, and I was like, oh, I should reply to them. There's probably some interesting stuff we can do, and then I never did. I will try to remember to get back to them. Halogen said Cool Maths is basically a site we all played Flash games on. Depending on the teacher, the maths will let you get away with playing it during class breaks. I get it. Moni wants to write a paper on Flash or an article. That'd be interesting about, like, looking at... I'm just going to quit out of Doom for the moment. Looking at the effects of those things on our lives. The teachers knew they had an excuse not to care. Because it looks like maths. Nicole said everyone will play those Papa's Pizzeria, Freezeria, Takoria games. Fast food simulators. Hey, some of those food simulators are really good. Has anyone ever played Cook Serve Delicious? That was actually quite a hard game, but it was also really good. Bloons TD. I think that's on this list. Yes, Bloons TD is there. Right, Kaichi's saying I should have thrown a grenade. It's hard to fight all of them close up. Yeah, I was trying to just, like, go in and punch everything, which is probably not that great idea. Oh, Monty is like, hey, let's go Doom stream, just as I stopped. I apologize, Monty. Flashpoint, tens of thousands of games archived. Is this something that I can just go? It's not a website, is it? Is it this one? Flashpoint is a web game preservation project. Oh, you're right. You download it, and then it's like a Steam kind of thing. Oh my god, Happy Wheels! Wow. That is old school. Interesting. There's a lot of cool stuff there. Have I played Mario Odyssey on Switch? If not, add that. I will add it. You realize, oops. One of the downsides of this is I don't even have a HDMI capture card yet, and I feel bad buying some stuff like that at the moment, because it's sort of like someone's gonna have to work at JB Hi-Fi to send me that, and they're getting sent out there like while I'm staying at home safe, and so it feels a little bit feels bad. But then on another part of me is like, maybe I should keep buying that stuff, because buying that stuff is keeping people in jobs as well. But I'm like, I'm so confused as to what is the most ethical thing to do in a pandemic and lockdown, you know, because I've got ex-students, and one of my ex-students is like said on Facebook, it's like, I've been working retail through this whole lockdown. I've been going to and from work, and I feel really weird about doing this. And it's like, yeah. So I don't know whether I should just stick to ordering games digitally online and playing them instead. So I don't know. Chicken Schnitty, it'll be good for the economy. Baba Is You? I've heard of Baba Is You. Is Baba Is You another is it like a programming kind of game? No, it's a puzzle game, logic puzzle game. Oh, I've heard of it. I've heard of it. Yeah, it's the one where you make rules based on the words, and you put the words together and it changes the way the rules work. That seems super cool. I don't know why that's not on my wish list. I'll put it on my wish list, and I'll put it on the playlist. I actually feel like, I don't know what people feel like. I feel a little bit like Doom was half interesting. But I actually felt like while True Learn, there was more to talk about, and there's more stuff going on in that. And then maybe I should do more of those games that are less just straight out action games and stuff like that, and more games where there's something interesting to talk about and stuff. Doom was interesting, I guess, to a certain extent. But it felt like we'd seen it before, in a sense. And maybe what might be more interesting is to play games that have a little bit more of a like, let's think about what's going on here and do something interesting and stuff like that with it. Showroom says, actually, this list is long. This list is too long, but we're adding to it because I'm not going to not add to it, because I'm happy to take people's input. But at the same time, this list is long, especially when there's some people out there who just stream one game and they'll stream that one game for months and stuff. So people are saying that Baba Is You gets quite complicated, but it would be good. Mark, play We Become What We Behold. Is that on Steam? Oh, it's free. Did I click on that? Is it just loading slowly? It's loading slowly. That face is so, like, reminds me like Don Hertzfeldt animation. Never mind, hats aren't cool anymore. Whoa, that's weird. That's interesting. All right, it's on the list. Return of the Obra Dinn. Let me go back to the list, because from what I remember, it's really high on the list. It was like one of the first things on the list. It's one of the oldest recommendations I've gotten. So we'll probably look at it sooner or later. Instead, a random sprite folder is the key to TF2 loading. I'm not sure what that was. Power Wash Simulator. Incredibly intellectually stimulating. Really? Stream on Twitch to win tips, extra income. It's okay. I'm not streaming for income at this stage. Like when I'm streaming for income, that's when I'm actually lecturing for UNSW. So I'm happy for this to just be chill and we just hang out, you know. Oh, Chicken Stew said Firewatch. I've heard of Firewatch and I've heard it's really, really interesting because it's that kind of like you have to piece together what's going on by being on the other end of a radio. Very, very cool kind of gameplay style. Papers, Please. Wait, I've got Papers, Please. That makes it much easier to play. Oh, wait. I wonder how long it would take to download it. Probably shouldn't right now. I mean, it probably wouldn't be that. Chicken fans. Only Mark. I don't know if anyone's on my Discord because I was joking about that earlier today. I think Tawaka was asking what games I was going to play. And I was like, I'm not going to tell you. You got to be on the stream and you got to like and you got to subscribe and you've got to sign up for my new paid service called Only Marks. Now that OnlyFans is gone. OnlyFans isn't gone. OnlyFans is just turning off porn, which is like kind of funny because like no one ever thinks of OnlyFans as being anything but porn. So, you know, pretty funny. Moni says Firewatch wouldn't be a stop and talk game. It's very much a sit and watch unfold, explaining it breaks the rhythms. Yeah, cool. So it's more like you sit in the experience and you really feel it. Wait, Leggy Mod said they are not. They cancelled. They reversed their decision after backlash from sex workers because they all just went, well, we're just getting off your platform now, aren't they? Well, it felt weird to me, you know. When I heard it, I was like, wait, you're gonna ban 90% of your revenue? Like, what kind of business is gonna ban 90% of its own revenue? Like, surely there's another way around this. Apparently they have found another way around it. I wasn't I haven't been keeping up on the news. Howard Minecraft McUnite says they turned porn back on. They retracted the thing up. Moni, I like that statement. They retracted that thing after they realized how money works. Chicken Stew said, have you seen the 48 terabyte PNG of the TF2 Heavy? Wow. No, I have not. Let's look that up. The Heavy is heavy. TF2 ship poster. I have 20,000 by 20,000 48.7 terabyte warrior image. Is that it? Warrior. Item type PNG file dimensions 20,000 by 20,000. Size 48.7 terabytes. Why does that exist? Like, that is so weird. Why does it exist? Also, as a PNG file, I would have expected to, whatchamacallit, to compress smaller than that. Are people just making this for fun? They're just making really big images of things just for the hell of it. I don't know where it goes or why. Okay, so the thing I wanted to say, because we've done our 2 hours and I'm going to wrap it up pretty soon, but what I was wanting to say is Mark on Mondays is BT. That's how you know lockdown is hitting hard. People are so bored, they're just making an image so big it uses up their entire hard drive. Zero's like, yeah, because 20,000 squared is still nothing as a file size. Yeah, it shouldn't be that big. I don't know what they were doing with it. So it must have been a large number of bits. Bernie said the community's most blessed part of TF2. Is that blessed and cursed? Part of the reason why the lore is so fun and stupid while still tells really impactful and sometimes sad stories. Yeah, I think that getting a bunch of people together on things and just having people hang out and have fun and just have some kind of shared experience is quite important, especially during a pandemic when a lot of our opportunities we would have had for shared experience don't exist. So there's a lot of things that you would normally be doing in class at UNSW, like actually hanging out with people and stuff like that. It's just missing at the moment, and I think that's a bit of a shame. But, you know, we do what we can. That's actually one of the reasons why I'm doing this, is like I wanted to make sure there was a bit of a community here. So you've got a bunch of people together here. Though just, I think the funny thing about it is if you ever meet each other at UNSW, you won't recognize anyone because you'll just be like, I don't know. You've got a username, but like, I don't necessarily recognize you. Whereas if you'd all been in class together, you'd be like, I've seen that person before. It's like, did you take that class then? And then suddenly you've got some shared experience. You can have a conversation with people and stuff like that. Murney was saying, yeah, TF2. I did talk about the design for the silhouettes for TF2 and how important that is, how easy it is to see who you're shooting and whether they're the right target for you or whether you should run away and stuff, just purely on silhouette, even without seeing anything. TF2, kind of one of the pinnacles of character design in games, not in terms of story of character or narrative of character, but of the playstyle, the scissors, paper, rock of the different characters in a sense, and how visible they are to each other. You can have a lot of classes, but you don't confuse based on like the shape and style of the classes. I was actually comparing it to, I played the Back 4 Blood beta when it came out recently, and then I felt like there were some issues in it where there were two zombies that were giant ones with one big arm, and I couldn't tell them apart. Not until they did their different attack. One of them does a big slam attack, and the other one grabs people and picks them up. So either way, you don't want to be close to them, but they have different weak points to shoot. One's in the face, and one's in the arm, on the shoulder, and stuff. And it just sort of... They didn't feel like they had their own identity in the same way that the TF2 characters, each one very much feels like it has its own identity, and you don't need to play for very long before you start to learn it. And so it's always interesting in games where identifying different things is super important. And if you can't identify them, it takes a little bit away from the gameplay of the games that you've got. Zero, I love how TF2 is Half-Life 2.exe in the task manager. It still says that, right? JT, have you ever told the story of how you became a computer science lecturer? I wonder how much I told it, because I did a podcast with CSCSOC Echo, and I definitely talked a bit about it there, but I don't think I've actually kind of given a full story or anything like that. Shorio is asking what time the next live will be. 8 p.m. Mondays. Well, I said 8 p.m. Mondays, but what I really meant was next week, 8 p.m. Monday, and then after that, they are going to be either stopping or moving to another day. I haven't decided, because I'm going back to lecturing in 2 weeks' time, and I am actually lecturing Monday afternoon, so I'm definitely not streaming Monday evening. So the next Mark on Mondays is basically going to be the last Mark on Mondays. So what I'm going to do for that is I want to do something that brings people in and we're going to play. So what I want everyone to do between this week and next week is download Team Fortress 2, because I think it'll be really funny. We'll put up a big like 32-person server, we'll run around and we'll troll each other for a while, you know, like we'll just shoot each other and stuff and have some fun. Some people will understand the game, that's fine, they can get all the points. The rest of us will try to figure out what's going on and have a bit of a laugh, I think. Omsing asks, do you play Genshin? Well, that's an interesting question, isn't it? Yeah, I play the hell out of Genshin. Did you say that because you saw some tabs open about Genshin stuff? I have, I think I'm now like 3 or 4 months in of Genshin, and I've nearly hit the end game, which is like the highest world level of AR rank 55. Yeah, I'm actually quite enjoying it. I like the idea of building up different characters with different skills, different weapons, putting your own party together, and then taking it out and using it against different content. Really enjoy that. I mean, it reminds me of like role-playing games like, you know, like what am I thinking, like the Dragon Age series or Mass Effect even. Mass Effect not so much. Mass Effect is very much more one person. But you know, those games where you get to build up a squad of characters and go and do things. So yeah, I do quite enjoy Genshin Impact. Oh, you spent $200 on Yoimiya. That's that's a fair bit. I think I've spent over $200 total on the game over time, but not dropping that much on a single character. So I hope you're enjoying Yoimiya. I think she's a cool character. Having a bow character like that is something quite different from a lot of the other characters. So it's cool. People were like not liking bits of her. I'm not sure why, but I think she's cool. Oh my god. Leggy Mud 61 spent $1,000 on Eula. Oh wow. Wait, because of the sword, you wanted the what was it? Song of Broken Pines, this special sword for her. You know she's pretty great without the sword. She's fine without the sword. I got Eula just because I was lucky. I just started the game when the Eula banner was out and I got it. Those of you who don't play Genshin, Genshin has a rotating cycle of which characters you can get. And so if you miss out on a particular character, it could be like a year before that character appears again. So people kind of get very attached to wanting a particular character. I'm a bit more happy-go-lucky with it, where I'm just sort of like, I'll get most characters, and if I don't get them, I'll probably live. On Wednesday? Yes, because tomorrow's the 31st. On the 1st, on Wednesday, a new character comes out who is like a big deal. One of the sort of demigods of the world is coming out as a playable character, and we're expecting everyone to just drop all of their resources onto that character to try to get it. So we'll see how that's gonna go. Yeah, but it is a game that allows people to spend a lot of money on getting digital goods. So there's a bit of... Some people have difficulty with that, which I think is fair enough. Some people have money and they get to spend it, and that's fine if that's what they want to do. But I think when it starts to take money away from things that you should be using your money for in your life, then you've got to be careful. So I think it should come with like the same kind of warning that gambling comes with, because it's what it is. You put your money into a random chance thing, and sometimes you get what you want, and when you don't, you're incentivized to then put money in to get another shot at it. So just, be careful with that, I think that's what everyone's saying in chat. Money, money, money. Yeah. Oh, wow. Leggy Mud's going for full Constellation Ball. That's a lot of money, by the way. That's probably like over $1,000, I think. Deadly Fugu, Ayaka Supremacy. I 100% am with you with Ayaka Supremacy. Nicole said results on Thursday. Oh, see, I'm out of that rotation just for this cycle. So all I'm doing is setting up a new subject. I'm so happy that I'm only setting up a new subject rather than trying to wrap up a previous subject at the same time. I still get emails. I'm still on the Comp 1511 mailing list. And so every single little admin issue that's coming up for 1511, it's in my email inbox. And it's like, part of it when I see it is like this immediate stress, this rising stress feeling. But then I remember that it's not my responsibility this time, so I don't have to deal with it. And I just back off again. It's like, oh, phew. I'm starting fresh with graphics in a couple of terms. Not a couple of terms, a couple of weeks. Wait, Dean was asking when I will lecture graphics. Monday afternoon, 4 till 6 p.m. And Wednesday morning, I think it was 10 till 12 a.m. I actually have the thing up here. The network's graphics. Monday, 4 to 6. Wednesday, 10 to 12. Yeah, I was right. I'm not yet in the rhythm of knowing exactly when my thing is, because I haven't started yet. So I'm going to have to chuck it in my calendar. Where was I? I was over here. Yeah. Mooney was talking about TF2. We should all go medic and just pocket Mark, make him feel like a winner. Or what you do is like, I'll go spy and everyone will just be like, never do any spy checks and just be like, oh, you backstabbed me, you crafty villain, you. Genshin Harem Builder 3000 monetized. That would be so funny to just make a game where like it's like Genshin, but you just collect characters. You don't do anything else. It's just boiled down to the simplicity of, why don't you just purchase this thing? It's like, what for? What am I going to do with it? Oh no, nothing. Just purchase it. And people be like, oh, And cute anime characters, I guess I will. Yeah. Um, waifu gambling. Yeah. Om's asking, what are the specs on my PC? I have an AMD 3700. I can't remember exactly what it is. 3700X, X3700. I can never remember the exact name, but I remember it's a 3700 processor. And a GeForce RTX 3060 Ti. So I would call it now, I would call it like a mid-range computer. It was decent when I got it. It was actually, I think, I had a 2080, the RTX 2080 in it. And then it blew up, and I don't know why. They said that the power short-circuited on my graphics card in some way. They weren't sure why it happened, but they just replaced it. And so, because the 2080 was like end of line and they didn't have any of them left, they gave me a 3060, which is just a minor upgrade on it, which is fine. Part of me wants a beefier 3000 series graphics card, but the other part of me is like, you know what you want more than a beefier graphics card, Mark, is about $3,000. And I'm just like, fuck, why are these things so expensive? And then I talk to my friends who are Bitcoin mining, and I'm just like, you made my graphics card more expensive. You made my gaming toys more expensive. You stop that. Everyone needs to just stop Bitcoin mining so that my graphics cards are cheaper. I know that's never going to happen. But I just want our gaming stuff to be separate and not have its prices go skyrocketing from something else that's completely different that's using our GPUs. But yeah, so I'm not upgrading this GPU for quite some time. Not unless, like, maybe I need to, like, start a special subscriber drive or something on YouTube and start monetizing it, and then I can buy a new graphics card. Yeah. Yes, Murny, the environmental concerns. I'm not entirely okay with cryptocurrency in general. I have a feeling that when they talk about there's the amount of electricity going into mining bitcoins is like enough to power several of the Earth's countries. And when you think about it, all it's doing is just interpolating prime numbers. Interpolating, that's not even the right word. Finding prime numbers. And it's like, that's weird and definitely unnecessary in order to create an economy to make some people rich. And it's like, okay, cool. You want to get rich. That's fine. You want to do things to get rich. But like doing that at the expense of our habitat is a little awkward. You know, we're going to end up with a whole lot of money that has no real meaning. And the cost of it is like, whether this planet actually continues to support human life. And I'm just like, yeah, we want to think about that. Maybe if we could like get like 100% solar energy, then you can, yeah, spend all the electricity you want. Fine. We'll have more of it than we need if we have just like massive solar farms and it's a very sunny day. And then you can do whatever you want with it. But while we're still creating CO2 for our electricity, it's a real kind of dicey prospect. There are real ones. Slap crypto miners on site. Scalpers and miners. Also scalpers. No one can get PS5s because too many people are scalping them. Legimud said you bought a 3080 for 2077. For 2077! Oh, Cyberpunk. We've talked about Cyberpunk a fair bit on this stream and just joked about it. I still finished the game. I still finished it. I went back and finished it after I stopped about 2/3 of the way through because I was like, this is not working out for me. There are game-breaking bugs that are stopping me from progressing. I had one of the hacking bugs where if you have too much hacking stuff that spreads to other people, the thing starts to multiply itself and your frame rate goes down to like 5 frames a second and just sits there, and then you can't hack anymore. And that kind of broke my game, and I didn't know what was going on. And so I ended up rolling back my save and then trying to play. So I rolled back my save and played in a different direction, and then it triggered some other time when I equipped some hacking stuff, and it was just like I just couldn't get the game to work. And then I left, and I came back a couple of months later and finished it, but by then I didn't feel like I was in the game anymore. So I feel like it's a bit of a shame because artistically it's very interesting, but technically it just sort of the game just sort of fell over. I think is the best way I can call it. I can talk about it. Um, so there's a short story about a post-apocalyptic world where we had burned all the coal, trees, and resources just to mine crypto. Yeah, totally. We're talking about NFTs. Yeah, NFTs are weird. What is it like buying the rights to an art piece, but not the actual art piece itself? It's like you bought the rights to an image of an art piece. Yeah. NFT waifu platform. Yeah. Matthew's also saying, I never understood splurging on latest and greatest. Probably just your mentality. You have been running the same GPU for the past 6 years and doing everything in 4K. Yeah, I think sometimes it's good to buy something, to buy quality because it lasts. But technology doesn't last. Like, computing tech never lasts. So I tend to buy mid-range economy in computing stuff. It was this golden rule we used to have. Like, I used to actually spec computers for a company that I was working for. So I was the PC guy for the company. And the rule was always you never buy top of the line, but one down from top of the line is sometimes really good. Because sometimes one down from top of the line is what I was gonna say. It's like half the price or top of the line, and it's like 80% of the performance. And it's like, yeah, that's a nice price point. That's good. Nowadays, it's not even that. Like a 3080 is still close to $3,000. You know, you can get them cheaper some places, but it's hard. And a 3090 is like $3,000 or more, and it's like, wow, that's more than the cost of the whole rest of the PC, which is a pretty big imbalance towards the graphics card nowadays. Zero, I quit Life is Strange 2 after a game-breaking bug sent you back to the first chapter. Yeah, I think that sucks. Like, if you get bugs in games that kill your progress in a way that means you can't continue the story from where you're up to. I think games where you're really invested in the story, when that happens, that can hit you really hard. And it's like, I was emotionally invested in this, and I've been torn out of it, and now I don't know where to be or what I'm doing. And I think that can really hurt, actually, in some of those games. J-Man said 2 is trash anyway, so Life is Strange 1 was better than 2. I haven't played either. There's so many things that I want to play, and eventually I'll play, but I don't know. Oh wow, Halogen said there was a thing going around with bots that took online artists' things, put them up as NFTs and knowledge. It was a big thing. Look, there's a thing I think a lot with digital art. Being a physical artist, when I paint stuff, it's much easier for me. But I've seen, because I follow a lot of digital artists and like painters and sketch artists and stuff like that, and the amount I see their stuff getting stolen is really kind of scary to see, because you get a whole lot of people. Like, I remember someone was saying, hey, can everyone just kind of report this other account? All they are is a replica of my account, and they started to try to sell my work as if it's their own and stuff. Like, they're going through and replacing my watermark with theirs and stuff, and they're saying it's their stuff, and it's like, that's just, it's so dirty, people doing that. But it's kind of like, when you're in a situation where that is a viable way of making a living, it's shitty. And then the actual people who created these things, like a lot of people who do art, even in the miniatures community, when everything's physical, there's this big problem with people buying one copy of a miniature that someone's made, building a mold around it, and then recasting more models of the same thing, and then selling it cheaper because they didn't have to spend, like the hundreds of hours necessary to really sculpt it and make it work, like do the concept, pay the concept artist for their work beforehand, all that kind of stuff. All they do is they just take something and they recast it, and then they reprint they remold it and recast it, and then that's all they have to do, and then they just sell it cheap. And it's kind of sad because what that ends up doing is for the artists that are trying to get by with their creations and getting undercut by someone selling exactly the same thing that they made, um, it can really kind of dampen your spirit, you know, because making art is supposed to be like an expression of yourself. It's supposed to be something where you love it because it's like um you get to let out your feelings in a sense and share them with people, which is a beautiful thing. But then if people are just going to come and rip off your stuff and pretend it's theirs and then sell it, and then like you no longer make a living on it when you could have otherwise and you were in a good position, I'd feel real salty about that, I think. And I'm sure most people, when that happens to them, feel salty about that. Um, Moni saying it reminds them of Victorian era artifact auctions. There were so many forgeries going around. People were paying mainly for the privilege of provenance, not the historical objects themselves. NFTs are the same, buying for the privilege of owning exclusivity versus buying for what you want or like. Yeah. PT. It wouldn't be dirty if you power washed it. Fine, power wash simulator. Let's have a look at. I know you've been pushing me in this direction all night, BT, you and some of the others. Let's go back to the beginning. When your whole town is dirty and good people cry for help. This is a good trailer already. I think I may have seen this before. Oh, this is really funny. This is the whole game, isn't it? What? Water discovered on Mars. Oh no. But look, you know, sometimes a concept is funny enough that it just carries itself regardless of I'm just shaking my head. I don't know. I love how it's overwhelmingly positive. Either everyone's upvoting it because it's a meme, or this is actually genuinely satisfying to do. I have a feeling it is actually genuinely satisfying, isn't it? Nicole says power washing so satisfying will partially cure lockdown sadness. J-Man, everyone gangster until you leave a 0.1% spec and can't find it. So is that the deal? You just have to get 100% power washing. Oh, and it was made in Unity Personal Edition, so it's not even like it's just one person made this. Similar to Slime Rancher? It does not look similar to Slime Rancher. Is that just because it's like a budget Unity engine game? That is so funny. Alright. Review says, sometimes a zen-like game comes along at the perfect time. Whether you're a 50-year-old dad or someone who just likes making things clean, your interest may have been piqued by this upcoming game. I assume that the reviewer is said 35-year-old dad. Or maybe that's the demographic for people who actually buy power washers. 35-year-old dads. Moni's asking about Slime Rancher. Slime Rancher is a game where you're on this planet and you go around and you pick up these little slimes and you put them in these pens that you built. And it's got this game loop of like, you get the slimes, you feed food to the slimes poop out crystals, you collect the crystals, you sell the crystals for money, you get better stuff so that you can build more enclosures to put more slimes in, slimes poop out stuff, make money, you grow plants to grow the right food to make your slimes poop out more, and you cycle like that. It's kind of fun. My partner and I found a co-op mod for it. We played it for a bit, and it was like, yeah, this is cool. It was interesting for a while. As you can see, I have 8.7 hours on record, so obviously it wasn't stupendously interesting, but it was enough that it was kind of cool. Yeah. Oh, right. You did. Sorry. You didn't need me to explain it. You said you love Slime Rancher. The story in the song makes you teary. I'm confused why it's related to Power Washer. Yes, I'm also confused why it's related to Power Washer. They don't appear to be the same. I haven't finished the story. I actually never played on my own. It was like I was playing kind of like I was like the co-op partner on my partner's save game. So it's her game and I was just helping her do stuff. So I haven't actually sat down and tried to play it on my own. I just have so many games I'm playing that I don't think I've really got time for it. Also, I've been painting stuff as well. Let me show you. This is gonna need. I'm gonna take over the whole screen. I've been working on this. Let me just... No, too much. Alright, fine, I'll just turn off that lamp altogether. Come on, focus. Focus here. It's not gonna focus, don't worry. When I set this up properly for things you can see. So, it's this orc buggy from Warhammer that I'm doing in like a black and white sketch comic style. I started this project like I'll put it away. You can't really see it. I started this project like 2 years ago, and for some reason recently I was just like I want to finish that one, and so I put aside the other stuff I was painting and said, like, I'm going to work on this one. So I've been working on it a little bit, and I'll finish it eventually. It's probably actually not that far off. You can see most of the main body's finished, and I'll get to it sooner or later. But it's also like kind of like I want to spend some time on it. So it's like, how many computer games do I want to play when I also want to do painting and stuff? So there's all this like back and forth, you know, that you're always kind of trying to figure out where to spend your time, which things are going to be the most fun, which things are fulfilling and stuff like that. So it's like, it's always interesting. Marnie said paint it red to make it go faster. I do that sometimes with my I do this kind of monochromatic style a lot in my painting, which is like a black and white thing. Sometimes I do black and white with red. Those of you who have seen my Instagram will have probably seen some stuff that I've done. It's kind of funny. I think when my students first discovered my Instagram, they were like, what? What is this all miniature painting thing? This is like a completely different Mark. And it's like, yeah, that's the other world. Like, where I kind of take part in the miniature painting community and stuff like that. So that's interesting. Anyway, 10:30 now. We've been going for 2.5 hours. I think it's about time to wrap up the stream, especially because I've stopped playing games and we're just talking now, which is fun also, but I might wrap it up there. What I was saying, Moni said the story is very sweet, dealing with love between people who have very different goals and wants in life, all while a million miles apart, plus ancient slime civilization god powers. That's kind of cool. Yeah. Nicole said, I keep having this paradox where I keep putting off the things I really want to do more than the things I kind of want to do, so I never get to do anything that I want to do. Oh, 100%. I'm totally with you, Nicole. That is 100% a mood. Because I reckon what happens to us a lot of the time when we're looking for hobbies is we gravitate sometimes towards hobbies that fulfill us, but a lot of things only fulfill us if we put work into them. But then we run out of spoons, right? You run out of your energy to be able to do stuff, and then you can't take on that hobby. Like for me, miniature painting's like that. Miniature painting takes effort. I've got to plan what kind of level of artistic expression I want to do in something. and how I want to achieve it and stuff. And there's this pressure to then perform at the level I'm capable of in a hobby. And once that pressure comes on, it's not that great a hobby anymore. It starts to feel like work and stuff. And so a lot of our hobbies, even the ones we really enjoy, it's hard to even do them. And especially when you're just not feeling up to things, especially like in a lockdown and stuff like that. It's like, it can kind of wear you out. So I fully understand where you're coming from. Yeah. Zero's like, I often start projects and then get bored and stop them when I'm like 80% done. Yeah, totally. Doesn't matter. BT, pressure, you say. Well done. Well done. I clap for you. Sounds like some sort of washing could be done. Yes. What was I going to say? I think I was saying something useful then before BT. What I was saying, like when I was talking about student projects and engineering and stuff, I think it was like last week. It's totally okay to let something go. Things don't have to be like finished, complete, product, like a hobby. The whole point of a hobby is not product, right? We spend so much of our lives creating product. I'm going to say that because it's like, you have to finish things. You're getting paid for things and stuff like that. Our hobbies need to release us from that. So the idea that our project must be good and complete and finished is the kind of thing that kind of kills the hobby for you. Whereas I think what we need to aim for in our hobbies is stuff that just makes us feel good about what we're doing. And that's it. It doesn't have to be finished. It doesn't have to meet someone else's standards. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to get better at it. Like some people enjoy doing things until they get better at it, improving things, and then each thing they feel like they're getting better than they were before. That's fine. That's good. But if you make that a requirement, it means you'll stop doing things. You'll hit a point where you can't improve further because you've got, time limitations or physical limitations even and stuff like that. And you just go, well, I can't get better at this. Does that mean I just stop doing it? And that's tough, right? Because the hobby's not supposed to be there for you to get better at it. And I think one of the worst things that happens to a lot of people is like, you're really good at that hobby. You could monetize that. And it's like, don't do it. The whole point, it was supposed to release you from that tension, It's like that, the tension of yourself, your person having to be monetized. That's your work, So your profession is where you monetize things, and your hobbies are supposed to give you a relaxation point from having to be monetized, your 8 hours a day or whatever. And you could consider, because most of you are students, you could consider your university time is that, right? That's the pressure that you need to perform because that's your future job or whatever. Like a lot of people consider university to be necessary to get jobs and stuff. So I think like our hobbies have got to release us from that, which means we need to be able to say like, oh yeah, I got 80% through that and I am stopping and that's okay. Like it's at that point where you go, I don't have to. I did it for the fun of it. It stopped being fun. So part of my hobby is to do the things that are fun. So I'll put that thing down and I'll pick up something else, And we're like that with computer games. I did that with Slime Rancher, 8.7 hours. I'm just like, yeah, there you go. I've made my, I've seen enough of the game to be happy with it. I don't need to continue if I don't want to. I could go back, and there's probably something fulfilling in finishing the story, but I'm like, that's where we're at. Yeah. What were we saying? Sam said, yeah, that's why you stopped working on your novel. So you were writing a novel, but it's like, yeah. And you say you really need to start that again? Maybe. Maybe it'll be good. But I always think that, like, if you really do want to write that novel, then let it happen when it's okay. Don't force yourself. Because the more you force yourself into it, the more you'll get trapped in it, in a sense. And it won't feel good to do it. BT's talking about watching things still. Moni was saying, always feel crushed when satisfaction is work, but then when hobby is work, I don't want to do it. Yeah, and I think that's the thing. We've got to use our hobbies as our time off. If our hobbies start being time on, then we have no release of pressure. We're working, we're under pressure, and then we're doing our hobbies, we're under pressure as well. And then when are you releasing all this pressure? You should be pressure washing. Am I right, BT? Am I? So for me, like that with my painting, because I started entering a lot of competitions, and I actually had some decent success in those competitions. Like I won awards even at an international level for a while. Then I was like, oh, okay, you need to chill out. This is now becoming just another work, and you've got enough work to do. You're not going to be able to survive this. And I was getting shitty at it as well. So I was getting shitty at the hobby I loved because I wouldn't allow myself to paint something if it wasn't going to get pushed to, like, an international competition stand. And it's like, yeah, can you even do that? Really? Like, no one is going to be able to keep that up. And so I pulled back for ages, and I just started painting things that I wanted to use to play games. And that was great, because then my motivation was, I want to play games with my friends, and the stuff I want to play games with, I want it to look pretty. And so the bar lowered significantly from, I need to try to compete at an international level on these things. So everything must be at a certain level of, the craft must be very high. I must be making an artistic statement with the things that I'm painting and stuff. And now I'm just like, nah, let's just chill. Let's have some fun. If we want to express something artistically, then we go for it. But we don't try to, like, spend 300 hours on a single model just to get it that exact looking exactly the way you want it to. I'm like, I'm done with that. I don't need that, So it's kind of like revitalized the hobby for me, the painting thing now, when I don't target competitions with particular things I'm painting anymore. That's nice. Murney had an interesting thing there. If you make a hobby you love a job, sure, you'll never work a day in your life, but you'll never rest either. Yeah. The other thing that's interesting is that, like, when they say that, when you find a job that you love, or you work as your hobby, and then that people say you'll never work a day in your life, it's like not true at all. Like, what you'll actually do is corrupt one of the most beautiful things that you had in that hobby, because then you won't, unless you can find a real perfect way to do it, you'll end up in a situation where you are forced to monetize something that you loved. And like, even me saying that just doesn't sound good, does it? Because you will be forced to monetize something that you used to love. So unless it's already capable of being monetized, so you're still doing the thing that you wanted to do the way you liked to do it, and someone else is just willing to pay for it, which is like, if you're an artist, people just want to buy your work. They don't want to commission you to do anything in particular. All they want to do is buy your work the way that you do it. You're like, okay, you're one of the lucky ones. But otherwise, most of the time, it's like, no, people like the way you do things. They will pay you to do things under their specification. And then already, you're not doing your own art anymore. You're doing something someone else tells you to do. And it's like, okay. And there begins the kind of idea that it's not a hobby anymore, because it's work. It has needs. You must serve those needs. Yeah. And then you don't relax anymore. Deadly Figure said, you with programming. Look, it's tough. I think we all get into that point. Like, I'm like that with programming. I got a software engineering degree, and I was like, yep, I'm a decent programmer. I got some work as a programmer. And at some point, I just said, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm out. I'm not doing computer science anymore. Which obviously is an ironic thing for me to say, because I'm here now and I'm still doing it. But I'm not a development engineer or anything anymore. I've moved on. I'm now a teacher. It's a very different way of viewing things, where, I don't program really anymore. Like, my skills programming people, not programming computers. I've said that before. I'm pretty sure I've said that before on stream. But I think it's okay to hit a point where you go, do I really want this career that I've been building towards? Sometimes we want it because we're in a sunk cost fallacy, because we've put so much time and effort into it that we should probably continue. I mean, like, if you're deep into your degree or you've finished your degree, then there's probably something you can get out of it. You can get something back from the time that you've spent. But at the same time, you don't have to if you don't want to, and you can take a break. Like your skills aren't gonna fade immediately if you took like 6 months off. Even like 6 months is a good amount of time to take off. Actually, you could come back and be like, yeah, I can still code, or I can still design, I can still like engineer solutions to problems and stuff like that. You know, like I can still do this thing, but I'm not under the same kind of pressure. Again, you could say wash the pressure away. Oh, it's a power wash. Oh, we've been saying the wrong thing. Anyway, but it is a pressure washer anyway. But yeah, you know, you can, yeah. There's ways around things. I think one of the difficult things that we do sometimes is we think that taking a break is the same as giving up. Whereas most people deserve a break from things that they've worked hard at. And that doesn't mean they're abandoning things or they're giving them up. Sometimes it means they're actually just getting a good recharge so that they'll be better at it later. But anyway, let's wrap it up there. I've had fun. We played a couple of different games tonight. Next week, we will set up. I'll discuss with people on the Discord about how we're going to do it. We'll set up a dedicated server for this stream for TF2, and then we'll play some games together. It should be fun. What we might do the thing that we did once before when we were playing multiplayer games, is we'll all get on Discord. If you're okay with it, I will stream your voices from Discord and we'll play games together. But I'll wrap up there. Thank you all for coming along. Hope you enjoyed Wild True Learn and Doom. I kind of want to put more time into Wild True Learn. That seems interesting, but I mean, obviously it's scratching the itch of a programmer wanting to play programming-based games, right? But yeah, I'll see you next week. We're going to get together. We're going to play some games together because I think that'll be heaps of fun. And yeah, I will catch you around. See you later. See you later, Sam. See you later, Nicole. See you, everyone else. Bye-bye.